Am I the butthole for kicking my brother's fiancée out of my car on her engagement night? My brother's engagement dinner was last night. I don't like his fiancée for several reasons. She's mean and brutally honest with her comments about my life. Always tries to belittle me every chance she gets. Like belittling my degree and living situation. I'm civil though I have a temper and sometimes I can be mean towards those with no respect. My wife passed away from breast cancer. We bought a car and it's the first decent car we got, and my wife and I didn't make a lot of money, so it was a challenge to save up. It was her choice, so I make sure to keep it maintained regularly. My brother's fiancée made comments about it, calling it a piece of junk and it hurt cause it's part of mine and my wife's past. When the party was over, my cousin left, was the one who got them to the restaurant, and my brother didn't want to take an Uber. He wanted me to give them a ride. I said okay, but his fiancée stood there saying she wasn't going to ride in that piece of junk on her engagement night. I got really annoyed by this comment and my mom, who was in the passenger seat, did too. My brother spent 5 minutes convincing her, and she finally got inside the car but didn't stop with her constant criticisms on how awful and dirty my car was. And continuously calling it a piece of junk. My brother said nothing, so I made eye contact via the rearview mirror and said if she called my car a piece of junk one more time, she's out. I don't care if I drop her off in the middle of nowhere. My brother's fiancée went quiet for a few minutes, then commented on the necklace that was hanging from the rearview mirror, calling it ugly, asking why I'd hang cheap, ugly stuff to make this piece of junk even uglier. I effing had it, that necklace belongs to my wife, for Christ's sake. I got mad. I stopped the car and told her to shut the F up and get the F out. My brother asked if I was serious while mom was trying to get me to continue driving. I repeatedly told her to get out but didn't, so I got out, walked up to her side and opened the door for her to step out. She started crying and my brother called me nuts for acting out like that. I told both of them to get out, and they did. I drove off and mom didn't stop yelling, saying I can't leave them on the street, they just got engaged. And told me to turn around and pick them up, but I screamed at her to stay the F out of it, or she'll join them. She told the family what I did and my dad was pissed, saying it was disgraceful to do this to my brother and his fiancée and should be ashamed of myself for making a scene on their engagement night. He said I need serious help for my anger and should have just sucked it up till I got home. Mid-argument I walked out, leaving him talking to himself. I'm sure my brother doesn't want to see me for letting him down on a special night in his life, but his fiancée was being disrespectful. So was AITA. Edit. She did not know that the necklace belonged to my late wife, so while she shouldn't have commented on it, I could see that she wasn't aware of its sentimental value. Not the butthole. People who are proud of having a brutally honest personality just enjoy being cruel. You had every right to defend your deceased wife's necklace and your belongings. You'd be upset with yourself if you didn't. I'm sorry for your loss. Brutally honest is just code to I'm in butthole, deal with it. Can't see that marriage lasting long. I came here to say just that. Every self-described brutally honest person I've met is a thin-skinned butthole who can dish out but not take it. Same. I once met a guy that was proud of being a brutally honest guy. He dished the meanest things he could muster but would cry and have a fit if anyone called him out on his BS. I read something recently that asked, why does it always have to be brutal honesty? Why can't it be kind honesty, compassionate honesty, sensitive honesty? I agree. I don't understand why honesty always has to be so harsh, and why people are so oddly proud of it. As said by another Redditor, brutally honest needs to be reserved for moments that require a brutally honest reply. Someone about to F their life? You give them a brutally honest response. Brutal honesty is reserved for emergencies, if someone is a dick, or they ask for it. Yes. It's not brutal honesty to call someone's car a piece of junk or make fun of a necklace. That's just you being a dick. Why would you need to be brutally honest about a car, which you don't drive, if they can't fix that problem at the moment? Brutally honest is telling your friend that their outfit is really ugly, and they need to change, before you go out in public. It's not waiting until you're out and then saying it, or saying it around others. No need to comment on someone's car, when they're giving you a ride home, in front of others, when they can't fix the effing problem you have with it. No need to fix the car, if the owner has no issues with it. Our car is 16 years old, looks like crap with rust, but mechanically sound and interior is maintained. Every dang time we give brother-in-law, sister-in-law or mother-in-law a ride, they say we should buy a new car. We remind them that Uber is an option. They say they can't afford to use Uber. So we suggest public transit. They obviously don't like riding in our perfectly functional car, they can figure out their own rides. Someone about to F their life, so, original poster's brother then? Brutally honest is something you should do once in a while when a person needs it. I.e., you are about to screw up your life if you marry this woman who constantly calls your brother's car a piece of junk and complains about the free ride. Brutally honest is not a lifestyle. You've hit the nail on the head, that honestly is just an excuse to be cruel and nasty. What truly saddens me is how everyone seemed willing to ignore her behavior when they all were aware of original poster's loss and what that necklace means to them. They'd rather keep that nasty fiancé happy to maintain some false celebratory moment that they will likely regret later. Her entitled and cruel behavior does not bode well for the future of that relationship. I wonder how much of this is also original poster's family attempting to move on from original poster's loss by pushing this joyful engagement, though obviously problematic, and expecting original poster to do the same. Some people have a hard time dealing with the grief and pain of others and will do anything possible to avoid it, or if it comes down to it, even the person themselves. They are likely expecting original poster to just magically get over the loss of their spouse so as to maintain their fantasy of happiness, even though original poster wasn't the one who dug into that recent wound. The parents may also be hedging their hopes of grandkids on this fiancée, regardless of her behavior. I would hope they wouldn't be that ignorant, but it happens. The fact is, original poster is definitely not the butthole, and original poster has every right to feel and to have acted the way they did. The fact is, grief is not linear. We don't simply feel it for a time and then happily move on with permanent smiles. Grief comes and goes like the tide, and with each wave comes more memories, and more reminders of what we've lost. The last thing original poster needs is some entitled brat trashing those very memories, or for their family to expect them to simply forget them. Not the butthole. The fact that it was their engagement party is not even relevant to this. In no way does that excuse her awful behavior. Original poster replies. No, it doesn't excuse her behavior. Original poster replies. I get my brother didn't do anything wrong, but he was there and saw how the fight started, and to blame me solely for the fight I think is unfair. My dad said needed to get a grip because he knows how I can be sometimes, but if he wants to blame, then he should blame her as well. Your brother did do something wrong though. Did he know your late wife? Probably. Did he like her well enough? Then why would he let anyone, much less a fiancé, crap on her memory? I mean, unless there's bad blood between you and your bro, or he never liked your late wife? Even if he wasn't close to her, if he cares about you, why would he let someone pick at recent wounds? I know you care about your brother, but he failed to defend you or the memory of your wife. I imagine he was aware of whose necklace that was, to his own fiancé. Whether that is because he afraid of her, or didn't want to argue with her, it doesn't change the fact he let it happen. Sounds like he's getting himself into a bad situation, but you'd know better than internet strangers. But not the butthole. I'd kick them all out if they behaved like this. They got cell phones? They can grab an Uber or walk. To clarify, no one defended you, when they should have. For people who are supposed to love you, they seem to have completely ignored your feelings, and pain, at that moment. This is unacceptable. It doesn't matter if brother knew whose necklace it was. You don't like my car? Good, then why are you in here? If you are in my car, you don't talk crap about it. It's none of your bussiness what I have or don't have in my car. Original poster is not the butthole. I do the same. You don't like my car, get your own or taxi. This. I drove my friends around in the middle of summer in a vehicle with no AC. Freaking hot as hell when you first got in, but no one said anything because at least they had a ride. I have it same with rules, my car, my rules. And my rules are that if the back seat is full, the shortest one has to sit in the middle, so I can see when I go in reverse, and everyone will use seatbelts. Friend sis had problem with it, saying that it was discrimination that she had to sit in the middle. I told her I didn't give a damn, I needed to see where I was going, and that she could walk if she didn't like it. You can guess what she chose. I get my brother didn't do anything wrong. Presumably, he proposed to this horrible woman. And despite her behavior immediately after getting engaged, wishes to continue their relationship. He's done a lot of wrong by bringing this terrible person into your life, and by not kicking her out. Not the butthole, assuming that you left them somewhere where they could get home from, and weren't in immediate danger of being eaten by a wolf. Why on earth is your brother more assertive with his fiancée when trying to save $20 on an Uber than when she's cruelly insulting his sibling? Original poster replies, I don't know why he refused to take an Uber in the first place. But I think it's because his fiancée thought it'd harm her prestige. I could see how she was making insensitive comments about the necklace since she did not know it belongs to my wife, but her attitude was too much to handle, frankly. Honestly, you should take this over to r/justnofamily/a. Does the rest of your family just let her comments go and pretend like they aren't even being made? I'm sorry, but if the incident in your post is normal for both her behavior and the rest of your family's acceptance of it, then it may be time to begin slowly giving them less space in your life. Reddit link. You know, I guessed it was your wife's necklace before you said it was, as I'm sure most people did. The sister-in-law probably guessed too. And didn't care. I knew it was her necklace as well. It's easy to see. She's a grown adult. She was given a verbal warning and opened her mouth again. I taught 3-year-olds who didn't speak English, and they understood my rules and the consequences of their actions and words. Prestige, laughing my butt off. No. I think you mean low-class, high-maintenance future ex-wife. Not the butthole. The fact she started crying is very manipulative. She pushed too far. Original poster replies, she's 10 years younger than me and I know that I should have been the bigger person, but I let my anger control the argument. It doesn't matter about the age. She is an adult who was told by you of your boundaries, and she ignored them. I think you might be the first person in her whole life who didn't let her get her way. If she is old enough to get married, she is old enough to take responsibility for her actions. You were already the bigger person by not making crappy comments to her for no reason. What you are believing to be the bigger person would in reality be a flattered doormat. Be the bigger person is always code for let the abuser win. The only disgraceful thing I've read here is how your family treats your wife's legacy. Maybe the car is a piece of junk and maybe the necklace is cheap, but it has immense value to you because it belonged to your late wife, and they stomped all over both your feelings as well as your boundaries, and I feel like until they address that, it would be a good time to limit the contact you have with all of them unless you, and especially your wife's memory, want to continue be the doormat for them and in the butt of their jokes. Not the butthole. Even if the car had no sentimental value, she can STF you and take the free ride or get out and walk. I'm proud of you. You took way too much of that crap. Fiancé is like the biggest You're not the butthole. Yup. I even cracked a smile when reading. I repeatedly told her to get out but didn't, so I got out, walked up to her side and opened the door for her to step out. She started crying. True schadenfreude moment. Not the butthole. Although I wonder why you even showed up to the engagement dinner. All of your family taking your brother and his fiancée's side make me think this is not the first time. They must know how rude and disrespectful she is to you, and still, nothing is done about it. Why put up with the possibility of humiliation on the day everyone will give that despicable woman a free pass? You got to have a serious talk with them. Original poster. If they keep this BS on, you'll have to distance yourself from them. Original poster replies, no, many of my family don't like her. It's just my mom and dad constantly wanting to look civil to maintain a nice image by avoiding conflicts. I support my brother and would never let this affect my relationship with him. But I think it's too late for me to say that. I'm civil, though I have a temper and sometimes I can be mean towards those with no respect. It's just my mom and dad constantly wanting to look civil to maintain a nice image by avoiding conflicts. Do you really have a temper, or are you constantly being told to ignore being hurt and disrespected to look civil? Not the butthole. Toxic as hell it appears they are. Yoda? Is that you? Not the butthole sorry for your loss. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to be the first to know about Red Rabbit Reader's new videos. If you like our videos, please like them on YouTube and share them with your friends. We welcome your comments below. Press to start another of our videos.